bring in Pierre McGuire, NHL and NBCSN and NBC. Pete, do you know why we call it Stanley Cup Final?
Because there's only one,
But
not plural.
But we have 4 games.
That's okay. It's one final, which is the core of the event.
All right, well, that's the only reason why I wanted to have you on. Thank you, Pierre.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm good. Okay, we have an over-under on the amount of money you have spent on your most expensive watch. Okay?
Well, I haven't spent it. My wife spent it for me.
Okay,
How's that?
all right. But you still have a watch. We said over under $3,000. Let's see.
Over.
I went over too.
I was Merry Christmas, honey. Thanks for the present. And she goes, you'll get the bill.
So you paid for your own present?
Yeah. It's all right. It's the thought that counts, Dan.
What kind of watch?
A Baume Mercier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What's the most expensive watch you've ever seen on a player?
Probably a Rolex, but I don't know. I don't know what the cost would be, but I'm sure it was pretty steep.
But are hockey guys watch guys?
I don't think so, no. I mean, some of them are. But no, most of them I would say no. I would say not.
But remember when Gretzky, all the Edmonton Oilers were into fashion, and they were all decked out in suits. You know, Gretzky had them going GQ back in Edmonton. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it clear as day.
But all of those guys, they come to the hockey guys come to the arena dressed in suits. Lundqvist, he looked all decked out, nice suit and tie the other night.
Yeah, no, it's impressive the way hockey players carry themselves in and out of arenas or in the social situations. I think the hockey players do a real good job representing themselves and representing the game.
I waved to you. You didn't see me when I was there at the Garden for Game 7.
Right.
Seemed like you might have been busy, but did you see any celebrities there when you're inside the glass?
Hard to really concentrate on what's going on around you because you got pucks and sticks and bodies and skates and producers and directors in your ear and people you're trying to track upstairs and storylines you're trying to create with your EVS operators in the truck. So not really. During a couple commercial timeouts, maybe you might be able to catch something out of the corner of your eye, but not a lot.
Yeah, you had Michael J. Fox, you had Kevin Dillon, Liam Neeson, you had Ray Liotta.
Patrick.
Yeah, but I was on the other side. I didn't sit where the celebrities. I sat with the people.
I got you. Well, you were with Jack, too, your son, which is great.
I couldn't get over how big Bishop was.
He's a big man. I mean, he's big like a basketball player.
Yes.
Big. He's a big man. Absolutely. Get tired. You get a sore neck interviewing him, Dan, and you got that right arm holding the microphone's got to reach way up when you're me.
Well, how tall is he? Yeah, we're talking about Tampa's goalie, but on skates, is he 6'9" or 10?
I'd say he's closer to 6'10" than 6'9" on skates.
Man,
6'8" without the skates.
But is this the wave of the future with goalies? I asked you this a long time ago. If you had somebody like Shaq as a goalie, now granted, he doesn't have that mobility, but he's going to cover up most of the net.
Oh, I think it is a wave of the future. If you look at how goaltending sizes have changed over the last 15 years, on average, probably 15 years ago, it was probably 5'10" to 5'11", maybe 180 to 185 pounds. We're talking about with the goalies. Now, it's well over 6 feet, and it's well over 200 pounds. So just the average size has changed significantly. People wonder about why we don't have more goal scoring. Part of it is because of the size of the goalies, but another part of it, Dan, is because of how well-trained the goalies are. They are just unbelievably well-trained. We were one of the few sports that really caught on to specialized coaching, but now we've caught on to it, so it's made a difference. So you've got goalie coaches, you've got guys that work with the defense, you've got other guys that work with the forwards, you've got some that have just center ice position coaches. So we were one of the last sports to really get into the modern era in terms of specialized coaching, but now that we've gotten into it, you can see the difference that it's made with the goalies. It's made a huge difference.
But we're talking to Pierre McGuire, NHL and NBC, and Stanley Cup Final starts tomorrow night with the Blackhawks and Tampa Bay Lightning. By the way, Lightning road jerseys, kind of lame.
Would you like the number to Steve Yzerman? You can call him, the general manager.
I would be more than happy, but you got to give me a little bit more oomph. You know, with Lightning, you have dark skies, and then you have the lightning. So I could do the contrast between a a dark blue or black, and then I have that lightning bolt coming out of the sky.
You're good, Dan. By the way, I would tell you this. The atmosphere in Tampa in the arena is spectacular. Before, during, and after games. It really is. They have done a fantastic job in Tampa. Mr. Vinnick, the owner, they're one of the more progressive owners in the league, has done a great job with a lot of his own money, by the way, in really creating a fantastic hockey environment to watch a game. It really is great.
Let me go back to the goalies here. Mm-hmm. Every league is trying to get more scoring, and how does the NHL get more scoring? I wondered if we reduce the pads. Mm-hmm. I asked Gretzky about that, and he said, the pads have gotten so big. Can you make the goal mouth bigger? What would you do to add more scoring in hockey?
Well, I have two solutions. One is to shrink the goalies in terms of the equipment. So I agree with Wayne 100%. But I have another thing, and I've talked to people at the league level and also at the manager's level and at the coaching level too. Rather than change the width of the goalposts, keep those the same, I would raise the crossbar 6 to 8 inches. And if you did that, think about goalies would now have to stand up maybe a little bit longer so you could score more along the ice, because right now it's virtually impossible to score along the ice because they're down, taking away the lower part of the net. And because they're so big, they don't have a real worry about the upper part of the net. But now you'd also, if they did drop quick, you'd have a lot more area to score into. So rather than change the width of the nets, I'd just raise the crossbar 6 to 8 inches. I think that'd make a huge difference.
How long does this series go?
6 games, I think.
And?
I'd never do that, Dan, because I have to work between both benches, and I don't like to alienate either side.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a fast series, Dan. I think it's going to be a physical series as it goes along. There's not a lot of animosity now between the two teams, but I think that'll percolate as we go along, especially once it gets back to Chicago, the series gets back there. But the one thing that I think will become very apparent as the series goes along, Chicago is definitely our national team in the NHL. Pittsburgh used to be that team, but now you see Chicago. They are like the Green Bay Packers. They're like the Dallas Cowboys. They're like the New York Yankees. They are a team for the country that everybody can rally around, and the TV numbers speak to that. But I think Tampa's on the cusp of becoming one of those teams, Dan. This is a brilliant young team with great young players, and they play a very entertaining style.
They were so much better than the Rangers, so much quicker. In that Game 7. It was alarming when you see it in real speed right in front of you.
No, I agree with you, and that was part of the problem for the Rangers. They had a difficult time with their 4 lines, keeping up to the pace of the 4 lines of Tampa. There's no question about that. Good
to visit with you, Pete. Tell everybody we said hello and have fun.
We will miss you on the trail, Dan, but we'll be watching and listening, so keep up the good work, and tell Jack, don't be shy to come and see me from time to time.
Oh, I know. He's had the Rangers won, you would have heard from my son to get Stanley Cup final tickets.
All right, have a good one, my friend.
Thank you, Pete. That's Pierre McGuire, NHL on NBCSN.